Hey, Janice.
Hi, Anthony.
Point blank question. Are you underpaid?
Well, I like this topic.
So if you want more money, and most people do, for most people, the easiest first step is just to get paid more at work, right? Getting paid what your market value is at work from your 9 to 5 job should be your first side hustle before you start a blog or do Instagram or selling crafts on Etsy. Make sure you're getting paid exactly what you deserve at work. That's just a few I don't want to undersell it, but it's a lot easier than starting a business as your first way to increase your income. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. It's a great point. Yes.
So we're going to talk about, first we're going to talk about why folks are underpaid, generally, just a couple reasons. Then we'll talk about how to find your salary data and just gauge the marketplace and where you fit into there. And then lastly, we'll just have a couple fun examples, and we'll do my market salary and Janice's as well.
This should be fun.
All right. Cool. So why does this happen? Why do folks end up or gradually become underpaid? A couple of reasons. Number one, maybe you negotiated your first job offer poorly, and then it sort of compounds over time where maybe after 3 or 4 years, yeah, you started off maybe $3,000 or $4,000 underpaid, but by now you're like $10,000 underpaid just because of the way things have worked
You're
out.
really behind.
Yeah. Maybe you've been at the same company for a while. That kind of happens. You don't get the same bumps as when you change jobs. That's kind of a rule of thumb, unless you push aggressively, which you should. So you might just have lagged because you've gotten complacent and stayed at the same company. Maybe your skills have grown faster than they should have. Like normally a third-year analyst, I'm just making up a thing, has X, Y, and Z skills, but you're a hustler, you're a smart person. So after 3 years, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G skills as an analyst, way more than normal third-year analysts. And if your skills are up there, you deserve more money, right? So you should be hitting the market to see what somebody with your skill set is worth. And then lastly, just kind of ties into all of these, you just haven't asked for a promotion or a raise.
So guilty of that. It is hard to do. It is hard to do.
I mean, we're kind of raised, I don't know about you, Janice, but we're kind of raised to believe that, good work is its own reward, or, you will be recognized for your merits of your work, but you need to kind of promote yourself a little bit.
You're right. And we were raised that way. As long as we have a job and we're working and we're getting something, and it's a work ethic more than a how much are you making ethic. I think our generation was like that.
Okay, so those are the reasons why you might end up in this situation. Let's talk now about how do you go about researching and figuring out if you're, in fact, at market, below market, maybe even above market, and you need to be quiet.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of online tools. The one that seems to be popular these days is Glassdoor. There's a link, Glassdoor Salaries Index. I'll put it in the show notes. So just remember, these are not scientific, hard numbers. Think of it more like Zillow if you were home buying. It's like a ballpark, right? It'll give you a sense.
It gives you a good idea of what it should be, a good generalized,
But don't
You're going to know if you're way under, way over.
Yeah, but don't march into your boss's office with the printout from Glassdoor saying, you owe me $3,000 more based on this. Google said you owe me more money. Like,
I'd be
not
like
quite that
taking
accurate.
Zillow into making an offer on a house. And, well, Zillow says, probably want to do a little more research than.
So taking the Zillow example, right, with houses, you don't rely on internet to tell you what the market says. You rely on the market. You ask your network, your friends and peers who are at other jobs. I mean, I know it's hard to talk money, but if you can find out what other people are making, then you know what's really out there, not what the internet says in a graph.
Right. And you know what? Social media really helps with this, because I know personally I'm in quite a few different paralegal groups. And you have people all the time saying, I'm in this region of the country. Could you tell me what in general you make? Most people won't give you exact numbers, but they'll say, in general, I'm about this. And so it's helpful to compare that way. So and that's a real life, of course, it's a small group of people that you're taking it from, but it's good to know, oh, wow, maybe I'm significantly under or overpaid.
I didn't think of that. Social groups or networks, perfect. You can also call a recruiter or headhunter. They will have more sort of aggregate data, but just take that data with a grain of salt, because they are in the business of moving people, so they will naturally want to entice you to other jobs. Just keep incentives in mind. And lastly, just look at current job posts. This is kind of like looking at home listings. This doesn't necessarily mean what the house will sell for. It just means what people are asking for. It kind of works on the flip side. Jobs posted at a certain salary don't necessarily mean that's what someone will get hired for. People can negotiate it up, typically up. You don't. You don't usually offer something below the posted job offer, so it might actually be higher than what the jobs are posted at, right?
But at least you know that's a good minimum. Like you should be minimally, around this area, right?
So check out Glassdoor to get a sense of your market worth. And just for fun, Janice and I are both going to jump in and do this. So I plugged in New York probate attorney, and it says the national average for a New York probate attorney is $117,000 per year, and the New York City average, so I got a local number, is closer to $132,000 a year, with a range from as low as $88,000 to as high as about $200,000. Okay, so those are the roundabout figures that we got. So this is good for me to know. I'm self-employed. This is good for me to know. Am I doing well enough in my business to justify having a business? Or should I just suck it up and go get a job at a firm, right? But this also demonstrates a couple of limitations of this approach, because the broad term New York probate attorney doesn't really explain what I do or my skill set. There's things like probate litigators, there's estate planning attorneys, and what I do as a professional executor is a lot more specialized or niche than what I think is included in these averages. So you got to keep that in mind. Like if you have a very, very specific, if you're a genetically modified food scientist, right? That's a very special niche, and if the only information they're giving you is scientist. I mean, that could mean a lot of different things.
Right.
Also, it doesn't really. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say, in your experience with that specialty,
yes,
you've done it how many times? Yeah.
So it doesn't, at least on the free version, it doesn't really give years of experience to correlate to the averages. So is this $132,000 New York City average for an entry-level probate attorney or somebody with decades of experience? And I'm guessing that's what the range represents, but it's not so easy. But that's what I pulled for myself. Janice, your turn.
Oh, my turn. Okay, so you pulled a paralegal in Allentown, Pennsylvania, because I'm in Pennsylvania. So you pulled it as a $48,000 average with a range between 36 and 63, which I do find that that's pretty reasonable. I mean, from, again, what I hear, what I've seen, where I've worked. But for me personally, I'm factoring in, I own my business. So I'm not only the paralegal, but I'm the business owner. So that takes a little bit of a different approach, because I do have people that work for me, so that I would be giving all of that up to go to an office. You have to factor in flexibility. I mean, I kind of make my own schedule, which is fantastic because I'm a virtual paralegal, and I get to work at all kinds of different types of law and assist all kinds of different attorneys. So you have to kind of factor that in. Just like you were saying with the factoring, then there's specialties, there's different things. For mine personally, my structure is different because I'm a business owner and a paralegal. But I like the numbers that you gave. It also makes me realize I'm doing all right, which is a good thing, which is good because then my next thing was going to be, let's practice asking for raises. Anthony, we should talk. No.
I knew we should have done
this. It's a good time. Should we talk? Yeah. No, but it is good to see, like you said, and does it take into account how long someone's been doing it? But I would say that's a pretty good average. I have the benefit, and I'm happy, that I can factor in a couple different things there with flexibility and such. So,
cool. So, all right. So now that you know how to look this up and run your numbers, what do you do about it? If you do discover you think you're underpaid, ask for a promotion or a raise, or start hitting the market. And I do have a book coming out soon, How to Get Promoted at Work, on how to step-by-step go through that process. Because a lot of people, they approach it as a one-off question. Can I get a raise? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And then that's it. No. It's a campaign. It is a process, not a work up your nerve to ask in a one splurt out question. It's
right.
Read the book.
And if you're not good at that, I am actually looking forward to that. And I think if you're not good at that, if you're not good at asking or really selling yourself, that is hard to walk in and say, I'm really great. I need more money. Although you might know you're really awesome, but it's a hard thing to do.
And that's
So I'm
exactly
looking
what we
forward to
talk
the
about in the book. It's because it's more of a campaign, and because it's steady stream of conversations, you don't have to come in and work up the nerve to, shout from the rooftops how good you are. It's
Right.
been happening throughout, and your boss will know by the time you ask.
By the time you ask, you've set it up and you're ready. Yes. Yep. That's a great approach, other than getting really nervous and you walk in and you think you have that one shot. And so looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. That's it for Are You Underpaid? I hope listeners, you jump onto Glassdoor, check up the job listings, maybe even ask your friends, and just get a sense. Are you where you should be? Because again, that's the first and easiest way to increase your earnings before you start a vlog or whatever.
Yeah. Before you do the other stuff outside of work, make sure you're getting paid at work.
Okay, very good. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Janice, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Talk soon.